Number 78. So during game night, Ben has a mysterious game that he wants to play, which is basically Jumanji, as it sucks everyone in with a lot of stuff that happens here. I like the animation here a lot, but though some of it is reused. Like they literally have the scene here from the Vantrax episode. Though I won't lie, most of the stuff here, it's a good time, man. It's a pretty fun episode for the most part. Though the characters do end up getting fucked over by the dragon as they didn't even do shit the entire time. And they blame it all on Ben, though I don't think Ben really needs to be blamed for. But yeah, when Ben tries to do it all for himself, he just turns into a crab. And unfortunately, they can't do shit, so Jeremy has to go in to do shit for them. Alright? But yeah, they end up with them trying to go and do the game, but in the rules perspective. And like that, they basically defeated the game. Overall, good episode, especially for Season 4. Number 77. The Weather Machine. So after the game is cancelled due to the bad weather, despite the fact that the weatherman Skip Flipper said it will be all sunny, Tom and Ben just bring a full-on weather machine to the guy. And just like that, everything is all sunny. But it is until diaper rain randomly just comes out of nowhere.
Iodine? Oh, iodine up here.
The episode is fine overall, but I'm not really going to talk about the episode that much. Instead, it's a versus was this and the SpongeBob episode Stormy Weather, which came out the same year. So there's Gale, who's also a weatherman, and they're an expressive weatherman that are evil, just like Skip Flipper. Like, both of them wants to go and control the weather themselves, doing all this stuff, becoming a villain. And yeah, even with this dude creating a tornado in this episode. Like, Gale really only wants to fucking kill a cloud in that episode. But yeah, even with that, you can tell that they're both really evil in this episode. Both episodes are good, but I think the other one is better.
Are you constipated? Sure, we all are.
Number 76. There's an episode I put in higher guard, and that episode is A Secret Worst Keeping Part 2. The best of the series, not gonna lie. So in this one, we get these dream sequences, everyone thinking of Tom loving Angela, until they actually don't want to be with Angela. Like, yeah, this scene is pretty dark for what it is, and I like it. And Angela wakes up thinking it was real, but it's all a nightmare. Like, yeah, Ben really wants to ask them, but yeah, not much goes here. Speaking about that, the fucking subplot here, just useless. There's some cool Easter eggs here and there, and it's not completely worthless, but there's not much with the plot going on. Though it gets carried a lot with the good plot, with Tom and Hank meeting the CEO. It's really funny, especially seeing all the scenes here that happened in the Season 1 finale. A cool clip show of what happened all throughout Season 1, it's fun to see. And yeah, we even get to see the Talking Tom app, so yeah, we have some canon in here.
Hank, a computer is not a bath toy. Hank, you cannot smell a Wi-Fi signal. Stop, people, you just barged into the bathroom. A computer is not a bath toy. How many times do I have to tell you?
For one of the episodes in the most overrated 3-parter of all time, I can say this one is easily the superior. Number 75. Becca Fierce. Not gonna lie, this is better than Angie Fierce. Mostly because of the animation here. The animation looks a lot better here, especially with the wig. And yeah, Angela actually takes care of the wig. But the wig is too much of a temptation for Becca, so she actually puts on the wig. And I won't lie, the Becca Fierce parts are pretty nice, even though she is kind of an asshole just like Angie Fierce. And yeah, and kind of a dangerous person too.
Ready to get here.
I also like the wig here, how the wig is very sentient and controls everyone else. Especially with Hank, Ginger, and even Ben wearing the wig, though Tom not. We even get to see Angie Fierce again, which, yeah, she's the least expressive, unfortunately. Though the ride scene is pretty fun itself. Though the ending isn't the most surprising or really all that good, but I enjoyed this one a good bit, I won't lie. Number 74?
Oh, money. Oh my, oh my.
Today is prank day and everyone sings a song about it that Ronnie ruins. Though everyone else is scared of prank day. By the time that Ginger comes in, everyone is just afraid of what he's gonna do. Like, Ginger is evil in this episode. Like, he pulled off tons of pranks on everyone. Stuff that is, like, could probably kill someone even. To the point where they're extremely paranoid of the world. Until Becca just tells them that they can just prank him back. It's easy, but yeah, he isn't falling for it that easy. That's what I can tell you. Though he kinda still does. They do a news forecast and yeah, he easily falls for it. Well, not really. As they prank them, but Ginger just uses the ice machine to get out of there and prank them back. Oh wait, no. Spoilers for that, but like whenever we get to that part where Ginger tries to go and freeze Tom, Ginger tells them it's all a prank. Won't lie, good prank. Though these designs look uncanny as fuck. Number 73. Hank's first date. So Hank has his first date with Becca. So he impersonates a fucking mobster to get in. And I won't lie, the date here is pretty nice, seeing them interact and all that. Though, the goons come in and figure out that Hank is an impersonator, so Hank has to run away. And I won't lie, the chase scenes are pretty fun, pretty well animated as well. And let's be honest, these guys are not straight at all.
Isn't this fun? This is a date activity called Quiet Dumpster. The goal.
Then be fucking quiet! Like, Season 5 is the only season to have these really bad inconsistencies with the animation and plot, I swear. After that, Becca and Hank go to Tony Macaroni's hideout, where they're like the big bosses of Tony Macaroni. I won't lie, these scenes are pretty funny and nice too. Probably one of the best parts of the whole episode. I won't lie to you. Though they both end up getting caught later on, it's not much of a big deal as they can easily dance their way out. And they defeat Tony Macaroni and the goons, which is pretty nice as well. Plus, Tony Macaroni just gets arrested right afterwards. I also do like the message of rejection and how Hank could handle that too. Though, I won't lie to you, these two are better than Tom and Angel. Fucking fight me, if you will. Number 72.
This is our year!
Ah yes, the sound of nostalgia. So Tom goes steals Ben's phone to use a shock app, and just like that, Tom becomes a dumbass and shocks himself up. Yeah, in the first released episode of the show. So we get to see the internet doctor for the first time here, and he's pretty good in this episode. Like, my guy is just looking at Nomart like, how can you not find this good? Though he gives out the conflict here that Tom cannot talk, and I won't lie, probably the only self-aware episodes in the show right now. And I like how they do with the concept here, they do it pretty well. We also get to see the CEO for the first time, and he's basically just like a CEO in real life as a character.
Famous Silicon Campus!
They were really on time in this episode, weren't they? So we also get the therapist who doesn't do much, but he gives inspiration for Tom to go out there. And everyone likes Tom, but not Ben. I don't know how. Also, the CEO just uses Ben's phone that just shocks him. It's just weird to see that here. For the first episode that isn't the pilot, I think this is a pretty good episode, I won't lie. Number 71. Angela's heckler. After Angela got heckled, she wants to know who it is. And Ben just accuses Tom out of a random article he found. So Tom has to clear his name up. And I won't lie, the Christmas theme outside, it's so nice. And I also like the Sherlock Holmes parody too, with Tom and Hank trying to figure out the mystery, going and investigating subjects here. It's funny too.
A spot of tea, and then return to the scene of the crime.
Oh, that's dreadfully good.
After going to see the MC to see if they have cameras, they figure out who the heckler might actually be. With just cookies inside the chimney, you could tell it was Santa who was the heckler. Like, it's kind of expected, I won't lie. And it does make sense too why Santa would somewhat be a heckler as well. But yeah, forget that, we must have another dance ending, cause yeah! Overall, I think this episode is the second best Christmas episode, but I won't compare to the best one, promise you. Number 70. Happy Town. There isn't really not much to talk about this episode. After the town isn't that much happy, Tom tries his best to make it happy again.
An.
Fun fact of the day, that scene is banned in some countries for some reason. So yeah, the town part is pretty fun, not gonna lie. Just seeing everyone in the town hang out, it's some nice time and the best part of the episode. Though, it just leads to a fucking disaster, which I won't even mention. And yeah, Tom tries his best to save it from going to a mega disaster, so they just have everyone clean up. I won't lie, it is kind of a basic and kind of a nothing episode, but I won't lie, I still enjoyed it quite a bit here and there. The glove phone! In this episode, the gang tries to get a glove phone, but aren't able to because they all ran out pretty quickly.
Because the real glove phone can! If it's broken, you're paying.
And until they figure out that Ginger actually has a glove phone. And they easily get jealous. Like, Tom and Ben are assholes here, but they're the best type of assholes, which they're still likable and funny. Like, I can still get into these characters somewhat. Even though they literally go and rob Ginger. Like, no joke. Ben, Hank, and Tom create a scheme to rob him. And it ends up trying to go successfully until Tom was figured out that he was tricked by Ginger. Like, Ginger's a smartass here too. Also, the glove phone, I'm surprised no one has made that yet. Overall, Ginger, you're a fucking snitch too. Number 68. Museum Madness. So Tom invites Ben to the Fun Museum, even though he didn't really want to go originally. But they all have plans to have a good fun time in the Fun Museum. Until they realize it isn't what they expected. It's basically an infield museum. But Ben is having pretty much fun in this place, and I do too. I won't lie. This is one of the most fun episodes of the series. It has a lot of fun moments. And even when they get caught from trying to have fun, which I won't lie, they kind of deserve to, they just go through a little slide, which is actually pretty fun too. And yeah, Tom actually does somewhat learn in the end his lesson. The Ginger subplot isn't as good, but it is some good fun. We even get the landlord here who plays hide and seek, and holy shit, this is probably the best landlord stuff in like season 1, excluding the previous episode. And yeah, I honestly think this episode's good and fun. It sticks to the name very well. Also, Ginger, you deserve that shit. Number 67. Fancy Party. Tom and the gang go into a fancy party, and I do like some of the stuff here. Like the wishing shredder with this random scammer who thinks it's like worth value, and Tom falls for the scam. Though I don't like the Angela thing here. Angela just becomes like tortured just because she has a waitress outfit. And yeah, it's not that fun. I wish Angela doesn't even deserve this. We also have the Autumn Summers and Ben plot here as Autumn Summers returns, and it's nice here to see this. And there's also the CEO part 2, which is nice, though the CEO steals another invention from Tom and Ben again. Also, kind of a nitpick, but what was Tom's mayor status within the party? Like, he would deserve to be in some type of party like this. I like the side plot too. We have Hank and Ginger hosting their own fancy party, and it is really fun here and there. Especially with them battling each other who's the fanciest. Like, yeah, it's more so like, hey, I'm better than you, but it is pretty fun. And pretty enjoyable. This is a pretty enjoyable episode overall. Number 66. Everybody hates Tom. Tom actually has a successful invention for once.
Won the best awards.
World's greatest company. I'll put it with all the others.
I love the story of Tom and Ben becoming successful inventors, though it all ends when the helping hands get hacked and they all turn evil all of a sudden for some reason. And we get to see that the townspeople take this very seriously, kind of like cancel culture, like very seriously. So yeah, Roy comes in kind of the Royish way possible to help out. And I do like the helping hand fight scene. It's really enjoyable and it has some nice gags here and there. Though, one major con here is the whole Tom and Roy subplot is bringing up here. It isn't really that good. Literally, everyone becomes oblivious. Like, I already am done with this. And yeah, we do get to see that Roy is actually evil here. Like, who could have guessed? This would have been top 20. I will tell you that if the Roy and Tom shit wasn't here. I tell you that. Number 65.
I found that out when my phone rang at the Museum of Silence.
Yeah, the tour guide was so bad, he almost said something.
Angela is preparing for her interview with Victoria Payne, the reviewer. And it feels like it's gonna go all wrong because the first half isn't all that much. The Victoria Payne stuff is alright. I didn't really full on enjoy it, but it didn't annoy me. Plus, they could have done a bit more with the interview or had more time with it. But I do agree that the Victoria Payne stuff gets pretty good.
I give Angela a thumbs down.
So yeah, Angela does not take the review too lightly, like at all, to the point she wants to quit music. And yeah, it is kinda understandable why. Also, the song here is a fucking banger. Yeah, I can see why she would make like a full-on diss track. In fact, in a few spots we'll talk about another diss track from Angela. But yeah, overall it's a good episode. I wish they did a little bit more to flesh out the episode a little bit. Number 64. Email fail. So in this episode, they try to send an email to Tom, even though they're really right there. They accidentally send it to the CEO. So they have to go to the internet and fucking get the email back. It's kind of a weird and kooky idea, but they do somewhat well with it for what they have. Especially since the internet here, it looks nice. It's not too bad. And they do get some stuff right, like the pop-up ads. They even got a little meme here, which is kind of stupid, but as well as the glitch scene. It's pretty good. Though there's some nitpicks here, like how the fuck did he easily find out what the email actually was? And also, why could they easily figure out the email box from the CEO? It's mostly stuff like that, and also this scene where the CEO is trying to get the email, which is unrealistic. I like the Hank and Angel stuff too. It's actually pretty well done. And I like how they have them fake being bad. I wish they would have something like that isn't done in a royish way. Overall, I think the episode's pretty good, but it is definitely a better way of showing the internet than Ralph Breaks the Internet. Number 63, The Sixth Friend. So after the town becomes the second happiest, and for some reason, they made literally useless conflict out of this. But all this changes when the MC moves into the house and becomes the sixth friend. Well, it's before Becca, so it's accurate. And yeah, I do like the MC here. He's pretty cool here, and we get to see more of his character. Especially more with the other characters that we barely see. And also how reckless he could get at night. It would be a pain to live with him. And it kinda is, as when he tries to do something big, they just do this whole lie thing, which yeah, kinda cliche, but it works for what it is. It actually makes like the whole scene somewhat worthful. Especially when we have the MC not wanting to be the MC anymore. Yet surprised that their fucking town becomes like a lot lower of happiness. So Ginger tries to tell them to get the MC back. And they try to get the MC back, but he tries to go back to what he usually was. Until he reverts back after music starts playing. Okay then. This episode's good. I wish they did a bit more with the MC though. Number 62.
Miss Perfect did her golden gown.
Kinda ironic since the other placement is about the sixth friend. So everyone is bumping Becca Sparkle's new song until they realize it's a diss to Angela.
Bach's Sonata in G minor was a diss against his lute player, Ed.
The beef though got pretty big, so Angela has to respond with a diss track. Even though she tries and fails, she found a way to put dirt on Becca. And just like that, she makes her big hit being Game On Glitter Girl. The track is alright. It isn't the worst track nor the best, but it's serviceable, and it became pretty big. Too big to the point where Becca has to quit making music because of this. And yeah, you get to feel Becca in all this. You know, it is kind of harsh, and they do somewhat try to reconnect by being stuck together with no way to escape by breaking it. But oh well, all they really needed was a hug at the end. Not the best way to put it, but okay. I do like why she made the diss, because Becca used to be an Angela fan. And overall, the ending song was good. I liked it. Number 61.
There are more possible password combinations than there are stars in the galaxy.
Kayak 22. I'm in.
Tom and Ben are trying to create an ad for their app, but they can't do it due to a fucking leaf blower happening. And they can't really do shit with the leaf blower around, kind of like the situation I am right now. So Hank tries his best to go in and try to get the guy to stop, though Ben has to go in and hack to stop all the leaf blowers. But when something happens, Ginger just tries to stop it, so they make a new app to make things assertive, basically forcing people to do stuff when you tell them to. Kind of a genius move though. But they completely forgot about Angela's thing originally. So Tom uses the machine to force Angela to forgive him, and it obviously doesn't really work due to her voice. But fucking Ginger gets a hold of the fucking machine and forces people to do everything. To the point where he like becomes an overlord of the garage due to this. And the only person who could stop him was Angela, who destroyed the machine. I think this episode's pretty good, though I wish Ginger took fault. Number 60. The perfect day. So Ben creates a perfect day simulator and Tom tries it out, and after using it, he thinks the fucking thing is shit, so he uses the hat locator idea instead. And everyone wants to use the hat locator idea. Everyone agrees, and Ben makes the machine. And after that's made, the CEO wants to buy it off, and Tom declines. And an alien tries to do the same thing, and Tom declines as well. So the alien just lands in front of Tom's house.
Do what I do.
So Tom uses the hat locator device to detect the aliens, and just like that, they can easily detect the aliens, but they're all going after them. So Tom fights with probably one of the craziest action scenes the show has ever put out, to the point where it's kind of hard to watch, to be fair. And yeah, they try to go for a kiss, but oh no. Yeah, the ending is kind of shit, to be honest, but the episode is still good nonetheless. Number 59. Hank the Director. So today's Hank's birthday, and he wants to recreate Bongo McGillicuddy, and he couldn't, so he becomes sad, which, yeah, I get he is sad, but oh well. They join in later on, so it's not the biggest deal. Though the biggest deal, though, is who should he get? Tom or Ginger as the role of Bongo. And I won't lie, these scenes are actually really good. They really show off how Hank is a director and both the talents of both Tom and Ginger. Now, Tom won, so he gets to do the whole Bongo shit. And I won't lie, I like the directing stuff, even though he can be kind of mean here and there. Especially within his actors. And I do like the skit here quite a bit. It's pretty well done acted and all. They're all pretty good actors here. Though Hank is kind of unlikable. He doesn't like the thing and thinks it's shit. But after watching one episode of Bongo McGillicuddy, he realizes it's wrong. Yeah, this episode's good and has nice messages and all. But I hope the next birthday's a bit better. Number 58. After all that shit from the previous episode, Ben tries to make it up for Ginger by making him his own hoverboard.
Well, I'm flattered, but I'm not sure I have an autograph pen handy.
Was talking about your friend Will Z.
You heard it here, folks. Will Z is back and ready, and he is cooler than ever since the last time we saw him. And yeah, we get to see him and Ginger again using the same handshake from the previous episode and him signing the hoverboard. But they can't unfortunately understand what Will Z's saying, so they get the internet doctor for some reason. Then he changes to that one meme, that fellow kids meme for no reason. But it shows the way that they should do it by making him nerdy again. But unfortunately, it kind of fails as nothing seems to make him nerdy again, I suppose. And he gets taken back to the Coverse. It isn't until we know more about Tom and Will Z. It's actually kind of nice to see more stuff that happened within them too. And also the fucking Pajama Pals theme song. It bangs somehow. And yeah, he returns with him singing. Overall good.
If you dug through the world,
Yo, lady, oh,
and you got almighty,
yo, lady, yo.
Number 57. The Germinator 2. Zombies. So Tom becomes a lazy ass and forgets to clean the bathroom. And by that, Jeremy just pops up. And Jeremy seems very manipulative here. The type of manipulative that you won't really see by him. And infects Ben.
Even meditate now.
You can't fool me. Germs like you don't change.
Ben becomes sick due to Jeremy, and it isn't just regular sick. He just becomes a zombie at that point. And I do like the continuity with the soup from the first episode. And here's another episode that aged poorly. What a surprise. Especially this time, there's zombies this time, caused by one germ. And it is insane as they full on go all out with this. And I do like what they do here, especially with Jeremy and Ben. With Jeremy wanting Ben for something, as well as Tom, thinking they could relate. But they can't in a way since Tom uses him for good. And so they disinfect Ben using the soup. And just like that, they do the worst thing they could ever do to Jeremy. They clean his ass up. Overall, I think this episode is pretty good. A good way to finish the Germinator. Number 56. So after Ginger fucks around with the jetpack and realizes it's not finished, he gets taped up to the wall. But when he escapes, he sees what Hank's watching and watches it with him. And yeah, it's pretty good here. We get to see that Hank is a ninja and he teaches Ginger how to be one too. With some nice scenes here and there that showcases the ninja ways. And how Ginger full on becomes a ninja to save Angela from falling. And yeah, I like how Ginger is here. And I like the jetpack here too. They do a pretty cool design for that. Thank you, Tom. But it's too good to resist as Ginger wishes to get it, but nope, Angela does. And right here, Ginger becomes the villain of the story.
I hate when that happens. Huh? Where's that music coming from?
After this, we get a well-animated fight with Ginger and Hank. I really like the animation here. I wish they did a bit more fighting though. And yeah, Ginger unfortunately wins, but he gets his comeuppance in the end, even though it could be a little bit morbid for him. Number 55. Ghost Pirate Hunting. In this episode, they want to play the Sea Captain Simulator, but they fuck it up when Ginger tries to touch the wheel, restarting the progress all over again. And they have to sit there and wait. And unfortunately, they can't keep themselves still, so the best way to do it is by giving them the scariest story they could tell. And I won't lie, it is a very convincing story they tell of the sea captain and all the treasures and the hauntings, to the point where they even scare Ginger and Hank. So the best way to deal with it is by ghost hunting. And we get the ghost hunting plot here. I love the ghost hunting plot. They do a lot with it and they don't disappoint here at all.
It's like a real pirate getting away from the sea police.
But they both get so carried away with it that they destroy Ben's computer for good. And to the point when Tom and Ben return, they see all havoc happening over here from they both caused. And Ben easily gets mad by it. And yeah, you can see why they would lie. And yeah, everyone takes comeuppance for what they do. There's also the small subplot that is strange to me though.
We've been to the movies before.
Yeah, we haven't seen them go to the movies in the show yet. Also, keep in mind that ending. We're gonna go back to that in a little bit. Number 54. Good girls fall for bad boys. I've never seen this type of banner before. So yeah, Angela gets bored in the first bit until Xenon comes in and starts the plot. And from here, we jump to universes with a Gardner universe here, to a universe where it's all cavemen with the old models, to this shit. Kind of reminds me of Road and Multiverse a little bit for the first part. But we land on the agency universe where the agency took over the town. And seeing Tom and Ben become part of the agency. I won't lie, this part is pretty cool, seeing the agency as well as the animation looking like a very futuristic city. They really tried here with the animation. As well as some of the interactions here and there, even though Angela kinda feels a little bit of a simp to this other Tom. But yeah, I enjoy this stuff quite a lot here. Also, he gives out the secret password to stop the shit going, but they realize they're being invaded. And we get Hank and Ginger being like the anti-agency. It's a cool concept here too. And I do like how Tom is portrayed to be a very bad guy here, but yeah, he gets what he deserves. Honestly, a nice finale with no cliffhanger. Number 53. Friends Forever. This is actually the most viewed and popular Talking Tom and Friends episode before it was topped this year. And this is a bottle episode since the landlord poisoned the grass outside. So Tom and the gang play hide and seek and Tom is it. Tom tries to go find where the others are hiding and he searches through the couch, but unfortunately he gets his bracelet stuck. With no way to get out, he goes and calls out help from Hank. Hank tries to help, but it ends up not working with the doorknob being busted. And Ben tries to help, but it doesn't end up working. Mostly because when he tries to get a new doorknob, he gets himself locked into storage. And Ginger is no help at all. I like the setup of the episode a lot. Basically him being stuck into location. And with the hallucination helping him to see if he wants to cut the bracelet or not. Basically thinking of his friend and the bracelet. It is pretty nicely well done here. As it's not just Tom going here stuck here. As stuff happens and we're not just bored here. Plus it gives motivation here too for Tom. Well, it's motivation for him to cut the bracelet and save his friends. And yeah, in the ending he shows to Angela he removed his bracelet. But oh well, might as well make a new one. I think this episode's pretty good. A good watch here and there. Number 52. Saving Santa. In this episode, Santa gets kidnapped over the CEO's tower. So the gang has to rescue Santa. I do like all the stuff that happens with Tom and the CEO. How they, have the whole Christmas shit here. Some pretty nice jokes here and there too. And a lot of conflict coming in through. I also do like Darren here. Darren's actually pretty good here. Darren basically tries to help them not because of the CEO, but because of Santa and Christmas as well, and want him trying to save it. We also get to see Santa here again, and I do like Santa here, where Santa just accepts his fate that he's captured and doesn't want to get rescued. And all the stuff that happens here with the CEO too. How the CEO just got money and never really got the whole thing with Christmas. And I do like how the gang actually helps the CEO out, not just being mortal enemies. And I do like what they do here. Overall, I think this is the best Christmas episode of Talking Tom and Friends. Truly good. Number 51. The Deep Secrets. So Tom finds Angel's diary after role-playing as a character from a mystery game they're playing. And Tom tries his best to figure out the secret. I do like the mystery game aspect here a lot. It's pretty fun and creative. And we get to see Hank, Ben, and Ginger, and Tom all as characters. And all the stuff that go in here and progresses. I also do like Bartol Wellington, the guy here. And the animation was in his card. It's pretty cool. And yeah, I like how it all connects to the game too. How Tom is not really all that suspicious. He's suspicious really. And it all comes down to the accusation round where they accuse Tom fairly. And yeah, I do like what they do here. It's pretty well done, and the plot here too. Though Tom could be kind of an ass, just not really caring and not really caring much about the privacy of Angela, but oh well.
I don't even care. I like it in this pub. It's like my own little swimming pool. La-di-da.
From one season finale to another. Number 50! Here we are! The latest episode as of now in the season 5 finale. We get to see all the loose ends tied up from the previous episode. So Roy and Ben creates a party for the sunglasses launch. And Tom is sad that they aren't able to be with them because of what happened the previous episode. So the dude is literally homeless. For real. So he gets kidnapped by the landlord and a bunch of other characters who have some type of vendetta within Roy. Basically kind of like a team up here. And they all somewhat give a reason that is pretty reasonable. Holy shit, there is something I am expecting here for Tom and Friends. So yeah, they go in and break into the house. Yeah, so they go into that party here. And from there, we get a pretty nice break-in sequence. It's pretty nicely well done. And everything was in. So Tom reveals that he is breaking into Roy's house. We get some pretty cool stuff here. Like Roy tries to go and want to lock up Tom for good, but he is fooled that he is not within Tom. He's just outside his house. Finally, after 26 episodes, we have some defense for Tom. Tom's friends tell him to not go into his house because he's private, and I don't know what they're trying to say here. But oh well, we have a kind of predictable moment here where Roy was the one who did it. Tom was framed. And yeah, they try to go against Roy, but oh well. Roy tries to get away. Oh well. But they do escape here using the cab that Roy stole. So we get to see Ben drive again. So Roy got away. Alright, time for the biggest elephant in the room right now. We got the cliffhanger ending where the garage got blown up. And that was the last part of Talking Tom and Friends for now. We don't see anything about season 6. And well, tune into the outro to see more on that, let's say. But overall, even if this is the last episode, they somewhat ended here strongly. Though for the rest of the series, it's good enough. Number 49.
You say the bed app won't stop burping? I know how that is.
That's why Hank is no longer helping out with customer service.
So Tom and Ben create a customer service bot. And the bot is shit at his job, not doing anything. And it's to the point where Ben literally breaks his phone. Ironic how a light throw to the carpet broke his phone, but a 100 feet drop does not at all. So they end up creating Gilbert. And not gonna lie, Gilbert is a pretty good character. He's nice as a character, as like a customer service bot who tries to be friendly and all. And he's good as a villain. He goes and locks everyone inside the garage. And he is truly a force to be reckoned with. He is kind of like the best way to describe a manipulative friend. Not really caring about what the friend wants and only caring about themselves. To the point where they actually go in and hurt the friends. And to the point where even people who they really didn't connect with are their friends somewhat. And fucking all this shit here. This dude is full on a wrecked psychopath. And it makes sense. He's like a robot who doesn't understand shit. And to the point where they fucking fool him to where he just fucking shuts down.
Question kill switch. Thanks, Captain Kirk.
It's great. Let's see how it finishes up its arc though. Number 48. Yes, just run into the storage room for no reason and then get yourself locked in. Why did I put this so high again? Oh look, there's Bongo McGillicuddy. They truly carried this episode a lot. Plus the animation here looks fluid as fuck. You could tell that they really tried their best into 2D animation in season 4. And yeah, the episode is kinda still another clip show. Just going through clips and trying to find the villain.
So, are these two brother and sister, or a couple, or what? Okay, that makes sense.
But I won't lie, this is actually a pretty good clip show for the most part. And I do like all the stuff that... Oh wait, look, it's the previous episode we talked about. And yeah, they have to go in and think that it's Gilbert the villain. And yeah, we get to see Gilbert's long return. And yeah, I like Gilbert here, even though they probably got rid of him a bit too fast. Overall, one that I feel like is underappreciated overall. Number 47.
Or the Talking Tom, which is just a regular burger, but they name it after you.
Talking Tom is famous. Also, why the fuck couldn't they afford a fucking hamburger? Like, they buy a whole lot of stuff, but doesn't give a fuck about food at all. Okay, despite that, Tom shows him about GoFundMe, and Hank uses the GoFundMe to buy a burger, basically.
Not you, Mike. Definitely not you. I am not going to mention your name, Mike.
And only in a matter of days, Hank just becomes a full-on millionaire. And just buys all the millions for fucking hamburgers. It's great, but it comes with a price though. As Hank told everyone that every donator can see him eat a burger. And it gets to the point where he has to eat a lot of burgers. And when he gets to the internet actor, he just turns to Mikado. He just gets drugged out. And we also get the Ben stuff here, which is pretty cool. How Ben doesn't get any recognition for an invention he made. Though they work it out by using the holograms to make the burgers. Overall, a pretty great episode here and there. Number 46. The Breakup Curse. And here, Angela gets 3 misfortune cookies in a row. And they're all pretty bad. And all the fortunes all do come true from the fortune cookies. So they try their best to avoid the misfortune coming true. And everything leads up to the misfortune somewhat happening. And I do like how Hank tries to help them out here and there.
I feel like I'm under attack here.
Acts like a baby when he gets criticized.
You know,
it's accurate. We also get the concept of switching out fortunes, which happens when Hank almost gets crushed when his fortune is switched out, which doesn't come back really. Though the concept is also here for Angela's 3 misfortunes, but they aren't able to switch it out with anyone, even though with some of them they probably would be able to. And I also do like how Tom tries his best to live the last time as a couple, even though of the whole symbolism thing with the broken heart, the Full Moon Cafe, and hold up, they just switched locations right there. Overall, for Season 5, I think this is really good. Number 45, The Lost Scout. We get to see that Ginger joins the Scout Club and he is destined to be the best Scout, but oh no, Darren pops in to be the Scout here. And I do see how Ginger would not be so happy. They literally go out and fucking battle each other. To the point where they can't even fucking get along. To the point where they even fall into a ditch both together. And somehow Tom isn't able to find out where they are. So Tom tries to get help from both Angela and Ben. Not the biggest fan of this side plot here. Though it has its funny moments here and there. Though the montage here isn't the best. There's a few gags that work and others that don't. The best part here is the Darren and Ginger stuff. It works out pretty well. As they first fucking hate each other. Where they're fighting and all. But they realize they need to work together to get back up. It's not all too, original, but it works out pretty well for the episode's favor. And they rescued themselves up, to the point where they're the only ones that made it out. This episode's good, but not all the best. Maybe it's because I do like camping episodes though. Number 44, Man on the Moon. So the gang wants to go to camp at the desert, so they could see the Ultra Moon. I don't know if the Ultra Moon exists or not. But yeah, the camping stuff is pretty good here too. Kind of like the previous episode. But except with Scouts, we have the whole gang here. And it's pretty fun here and there too. Also, the animation within the moon. It looks really great. Though this is the episode that Ben wants to fuck a moon. Falls in love with the moon. And just becomes a simp within the moon. Ben is simping over a huge ass rock. So the moon wants to come over, and Ben kinda is a little bit of an ass here and there. And yeah, some of the stuff here is pretty nice even as an ass. To the point where this dude wants to go kiss the moon. And yeah, all the gravity stuff is pretty cool here, but it risks with his friends being hurt. So the best thing to do is to meet up with the moon. Also, Ben's house is right next to the garage, so Man on 2 is better. Number 43.
My giant explosion marble! Uh-oh. Duck and cover!
After Angel skates around a little bit through the garage, we get to see that Angel's song is on TV for the mayor election. Though Tom fucked up because he gave the song rights to the CEO who's running for mayor. So Tom tries his very best to get the song rights back from him. Also, for the rally, yeah, you could see that they were on time with this episode. But yeah, the stuff here with the mayor is pretty cool. I also do like how Hank and Ginger pops in for a little bit of time here. Even though they don't do much for the plot within. Also, I love to see how they fucking get rid of it. Just sending a fucking virus to delete the file and corrupt it. And yeah, we get to see that Tom is also running for mayor. Number 42. The Forgotten Kiss. Not gonna lie, watching this episode gives me chills. Like, you had to be there to watch this episode in its premiere. Because back in 2017, this was some big deal I had originally. And yeah, it is truly a pretty cool episode here and there. We have to see some pretty big stakes after the whole cliffhanger ending. And all the stuff that gets tied up. So after not paying the rent for many months, they move into Angel's apartment to live there for there. And when Tom checks his phone, he realizes there was a meeting with the CEO they missed. And Ben finds out the fucking machine they made during there. You guys will get to see Goldie here, which I like Goldie here. And yeah, we get to see the big change within the CEO. After the CEO wants to know how to make the mind eraser device, Angela catches on.
Mean this mind eraser right here? Wow, got me again, Angela.
Literally just goosebumps in that scene. So Goldie got her memory erased, and from here, the CEO becomes the biggest villain of the series at the moment. And overall, this is truly a great season premiere. Number 41, Cornheads. So after they ran out of popcorn, Hank goes in and grows some more popcorn for movie night. And yeah, we get to see the same thing from Lost Scouts, but done better here, as they actually go with Ben's idea, and we get to see it all work out badly to the point where they have a full-on cornfield. And we even get to see this mother cob, which looks like something from Plants vs. Zombies, not gonna lie. So Angela has to go and fit in to stop them. And yeah, they are making some cool popcorn. Basically, they're just making drugs at this point, let's not lie. So Angela is trying to kill the mother cob, but ends up not working as they figure out what's going on. So they go in and turn him to one of them. But Tom reverts back after thinking about what's going on. We also get to see the mother cob becoming huge. It's insane. So Angela goes in and uses the lamp to heat up the mother cob up to where they have mountains of popcorn. Also, we have a cliffhanger here that is probably never going to be solved. Number 40. Embarrassing memories. And here, Tom and Ben creates a time travel device, but unable to use it as Ben's from the future tells them to not use it. And it's kind of similar to the Family Guy episode, Back to the Pilot. It's kind of like that episode. We get to see Tom and Ben going to past events from past episodes and seeing them. For example, in Ghost Pirate Hunting, they get to see that it's actually them who are basically like the pirate here. Ben tries to save the computer, but it's due to him why the computer is blown up. Also, if you remember, he's the one who wrote "Please to haunt you in the mirror." It's insane. Like, yeah, the foreshadowing here is insane. It's basically Back to the Pilot and Yug Yilman from Family Guy turned into one. And yeah, it's done pretty well here. And so they go back in time so fast, they basically froze time for good. But oh well. They fix up the tape, and from there, they go back to the original event.
Hey, what's this? Looks like an old tape, but there's no label.
So we get to see Tom and Ben in the past before the first episode. And when they fix it up, yeah, the ending isn't the best. Number 39.
It's finally summer!
Tom finds a treasure map while going through old piles, and everyone wants to find a treasure, and Ginger hears about it. So they go and find a treasure with some pretty nice scenes here and there. It's actually a pretty cool episode. So we get to different types of places for the treasure. We even get to see the carnival again, which has the spooky feeling within it. And we get to see that Ben knows how to manage roller coasters. And we also get the short scene of the beach in the whole series.
It's not worth the heartache.
Wasn't really that surprising. We also get to see Yo and Darren trying to get the treasure, which they end up getting it while everyone tries to get it too. And we also get the weird twist that Ginger faked it all. Yeah, it's kind of weird for Ginger to fake everything about the treasure hunt. But oh well, this is still a pretty good episode, with a pretty nice scene of them jumping in while that soundtrack plays. Number 38. Blanket Fort. This is a pretty cool episode of Hank and Ginger, and using all the boxes around the garage to make a fort. And yeah, it seems cool at first as them just making a small fort and playing a little game, as well as holding the food. But later they get really overboard to the point where they get an entire part of the house. And they are pretty funny here too, how they just have control of all the food. And they treat Ben like a troll, which rightfully so. Ben is kind of an ass here, and he gets poured oil inside. And yeah, they get attacked once they try to get in, so the best way to do is fight back using a Trojan horse. Okay. Though I do like the fact that they have Ben up there, but in all reality, Ben's ready to attack. And I won't lie, these fighting scenes are great. I love the fighting here a lot. It's pretty entertaining. They also follow the whole rules, like the drowning part with the moat. And we also get to see Ben eventually die again. As well as Ginger, as he deserves it too. This is a pretty entertaining episode here and there. Pretty great for what it is. Number 37, Superhero Picnic, which is aimed more towards the superhero side than the picnic side. Ben's portrayed as a murderer here. So Hank and Ginger try to use Ben's old gadgets, which are basically the L's Ben took when he was inventing stuff. So they use that to go outside to Tom and Angel's picnic, and from there they realize Ben is a villain. So they return to stop Ben from his time stop device, which he uses to freeze time with Hank and Ginger and ties them up, where Ben becomes villainous here. Tom and Angela also wants to become superheroes too and join in.
And I'm Tom Man. I'm Tom Guy.
And boom, Ben's ready to fight. And just like the last episode I talked about, this one also has pretty good fight scenes too. They're pretty creative and fun. And they end up tying up Ben a little bit too easily though. But we figure out that Tom and Angela aren't that good as heroes either. So they tie all of them up and they get out of there. A super good episode. Number 36.
The Taco Spaghetti Burger, TSB for short.
Hank creates a new food, being a burger, taco, and spaghetti together. And Tom really loves it. Like, so much. I would too. He gives it to a random guy, and he loves it as well. And just like that, they turn Tom and Ben Enterprises into a restaurant. And they literally have huge success, to the point it goes viral on Instagram. But it's too old after one day. So Hank has to create different food combinations, and this is probably the best part of it. Like, they make weird shit out of it, and Ginger uses toilet water, and everyone vomits from it.
Oh, iodine? Oh, iodine up here.
And Tom and Ben reconnects after all the havoc. Not gonna lie, a really good episode. Pretty creative and fun throughout. Number 35, Digital Angela. Not gonna lie, this deserves to be the most viewed video, beating out Friends Forever. Like, Angela just gets a stand basis from the Zappers. So Tom, Hank, and Ginger go to the Zapper world, where they try to rescue Angela, while the others continue the ongoing story from the previous episode. And I won't lie, I love the world that the Zappers are in. It looks colorful, and I love the animation here too. Plus the world building, how Tom and the gang can be able to switch the styles. And they do pretty good stuff with it. They work with it well. You can also expect that Tom actually tries to accept defeat at first, but after seeing Angela, he realizes it and rescues her, which isn't all too hard and all. And from there, they go back to normal. Overall, this definitely deserves to be the most viewed video. Number 34, Man on the Moon 2. So Ben actually goes to space, all because he thought the moon was fucking hot. And I won't lie, some of these scenes are actually not too bad. Though, dude literally pulls out a ring and wants to marry her, and this dude comes in to the moon. This doesn't make sense to me. But oh well, he comes back right after that. Though I do enjoy the other subplot a bit more. It's about them having to deal without Ben, and Tom doesn't know shit about it. Tom tries to make a new app called the Talkin' Tom Tom, using the drums that Hank knows how to play. And they try to reminisce about Ben. Tom tries to act like an asshole, but after realizing that Ben actually made this similar app, kind of like what Tom is doing, Tom realizes that he does somewhat need Ben, and Tom actually cries in this scene. Like, no lie, this is one of the few times I see someone genuinely cry in the series. Also, side note, I better not say, oh, you can't criticize Talking Tom and Friends because it's a kid's show. Well, a lot of these shows are kid shows, and you guys dick ride them to no death. It's annoying. Overall, a great episode. Number 33, For here, we have probably one of the most underrated episodes and underappreciated episodes here. Space Rescue. And here we get to see Ben reminiscing about his old inventions, while Tom wins a fucking trip to the moon. And he literally goes there. But oh no, the CEO was actually tricking Tom. So from here, Ben has to go to work, but oh no, the bracelet. And they actually do something with the bracelet for once after, a few episodes here. And they actually do a good job here and there. And it isn't until the bracelet falls in love with the watch, and like that, they both go on a date, which, it's not too bad here and there. We later see that Ginger wants to leave, and like that, it grows fucking legs. And I won't lie, this is a pretty sad scene. For like something like Talking Tom and Friends, it's really sad, I won't lie. We also have the space stuff, which I think is really cool. We get to see that the CEO tricks Tom, and he goes there literally in person. And we get to see Tom launches himself into the sun, so the CEO's a murderer. I won't lie, these sun shots are amazing. So Ben makes an invention very quickly so he could get Tom right back. And from there, Tom is back here. And I won't lie, this ending kind of made me cry a little bit, man. Just look at the watch. Number 32. Ben's high score. So Ben teaches Hank how to play Flappy Tom. And just like that, Ben gets really good at the game. So good that he actually goes in and beats Ben's record in the game. First of all, rest in peace, Flappy Bird. And also, Ben goes in and fucking assaults Hank for beating him. It gets to a fight, and it gets recorded and put on YouTube. And that video got really viral. So viral that Tom goes in and announces a match, while Ben makes the most disturbing face ever. So just like that, they go into competition. While Ben is over there, strategically knowing what to do in the game, Hank just makes himself a nice old sandwich. And literally, he eats it while playing the game. To the point where it gets ketchup on the screen and doesn't lose. Well, Ben actually loses. But Ben really takes it very seriously. We also get a cool animation scene with Ben here. While Ben gets knocked out, he apparently won. Until Ginger just beats him later. I won't lie to you. The Eye of the Tiger parody is cool, just like this episode is. Number 31. The heatwave. A very strong heatwave hits the town. So strong that not only it could burn the computers inside it and fry them, you can also make a sauna with just a mug of water, and you can get crazy off of it, and you can go high off of it. But when they try to touch the thermostat, the landlord doesn't let them, like at all. We also get a pretty cool Easter egg to the perfect day with Hank noticing that the device is not a hat. And using it, he could go in and hack to the fucking thermostat like if it was a computer. And it has some pretty cool stuff in it, like how Hank was easily able to know the passcode. And it actually works. And Ben freezes it, but he makes it a little bit too cold. So much that my guy can freeze people literally. And yeah, when Ginger notices it, he realizes his wrongdoings. And from there, he makes it back to what it was before then. Overall, a cool episode. No pun intended though. Number 30. Beach day in the desert. In this episode, they go to the beach. Actually, nope. The bus is busted. But we actually have some cool ways what they could have done in a beach episode. It's pretty cool. But even then, they're able to make what they have out of it, which is why it's a bit better than most of Season 5. So Tom has beef with Ginger and he steals his shovel. And from that, they know what to do. They gather everyone around so they can make an alliance. Kind of like in the other episode from Season 2, but done way much better. With this parodying Mad Max Fury Road. And they go to Tom.
Oh, I'm not saying I want to be a rapper, but I'm pretty sure I could do rapping.
Only if you've known, Lisa. So Angela gives away the popsicles that they were trying to save, and Ginger runs off with them. But we do get to see why they are important as Tom throws the earrings in them. So Tom goes in, and we get a pretty cool fight scene. as they try to go get the popsicles back and they go battle everyone else. And the fight scenes here are actually pretty good. But at the very end of it all, the popsicles melt and we get to see that they're pizza earrings, okay? One of the best for season 5, no doubt. Number 29, Hank versus the vampires. So Hank gets granted 500 channels and Hank just buys it all off, where it gets VTV, a vampire channel. And he begins the binge that I am actually watching too, but not like as exaggerated as Hank is. Like, dude literally installed a toilet to watch this. But after watching too long, he thinks everyone is a vampire. And he's right, everyone is for sure a vampire in his world. So much that he gets cooked for the vampire feast, like, holy. But when he wakes up, he thinks they're still vampires. So, Tom tricks Hank as to making a fake episode where he reveals that Hank's the Slayer, and Hank goes in and prepares for this. And I won't lie, the scene here is amazing. We got some pretty cool action scenes with him battling everyone as vampires, including the one with Ginger. That's obviously the best one. And we get to see some cool stuff with them both, after we've seen them both a lot. And when they hit Ginger with the sunlight, Ginger basically dies right there. Literally. And we do have the same ending as the Bongo episode. Overall, I really love this episode. It's easily one of the best Halloween episodes. Number 28.
Say my greatest weakness is that I have no weaknesses. Wow, I'm on so many channels.
Ben makes a strategy for Tom to do. So Tom does the strategy, and not gonna lie, the results are doing pretty well. But the CEO goes in and steals it from Ben. And from there, he uses it by his advantage, by making a propaganda ad too. Well, they end up tied on Ben's tragedy, so Tom tries to look for tricks with Ginger. And then here we are, the mayor election. And they all have to do certain challenges to see if they're worthy as mayor, with the CEO not really being. But later, Tom admits that he's cheated throughout the thing, but it is shown in a way where he's not looked at a villain here. Number 27, the worst mayor. Tom's term is up, so he has to go and give up the key. And we get a pretty cool room here. But we realize that the key is not here.
I need action! Here! Smash this lamp!
So Tom makes Hank the detective of the day. And from that, Hank tries to go and investigate other people for what they've done. And they get some pretty cool clues here. Also, I want to comment on this, but the animation here is pretty good here. So they go and tell Tom all that they've found. And from there, they think that Jeremy is the suspect. So they go and get Jeremy and interrogate them. And they would have thought it was him, but it wasn't. It was a complicated story of how Angela wanted to deliver the cake. And from the cake, the key was actually in the cake, strangely. So they have to go and get it from the garbage. So both Hank and Ginger have a pretty entertaining garbage run. It's actually fun. Though the whole Tom stuff, and it's annoying. I don't know why the fucking citizens wanted this fucking key. So Tom gives the key to the new mayor, and yeah. Oh, pretty good episode. Really good, actually. Number 26. I think I need to give some context here. So, Ginger wants to watch the TV and Hank doesn't want him to. And he makes fun of his height in the process. And, of course, Ginger is very mad. And he wants to do something bad to Hank. Kind of like Stewie. And the way he does it is so smart. He pretends that Hank doesn't exist. And Hank is just Ginger's imaginary friend. And he can follow anything he does by his command.
Tom.
I'll have to come back to this part later though. But for real, this is one of the most surreal episodes of the show. which has plenty of happy moments within them, and at the same time, very, very weird ones. It goes for a lot of tone switches within, and how Hank can't save Ginger, even though Ginger is about to fall off and nobody gives a damn. And it is truly one that you need to watch for you to understand. Ginger falls off of the roof, and he only broke his leg. I won't lie, this is a pretty smart and great episode of Talking Tom and Friends. Number 25. Unfriend them all. Tom loses his balls, Ginger gets preyed on, and a random Twitter user goes to Tom's party, even though he doesn't get an invitation, he just sneaks in. So Ben gives him a device so he can block him out of his real life. And strangely enough, it actually works. It turns him into a smiley face. But Tom wants to change this to be permanent. So anytime a character just fucking tells Tom he's a dumbass or something, they turn into a smiley face. Like, Tom is pretty evil here, I won't lie. And he deserves it whenever his friends turn into the smiley faces. Even though, for better or for worse, it could get scary here and there. Even the cactus becomes one. So Tom passes out and everyone has to go and help him, with Ben creating some shield to block out the smiling faces. So they try to go and get the hipster, the Twitter user who fucking made fun of Tom. And from there, Tom goes in and unblocks him from social media, undoing the entire change completely. It does go for the anti-block message, and yeah, somewhat I do agree if it's like some random troll, I don't give a fuck, but sometimes it's best to do so. Overall, a pretty great episode nonetheless. Number 24, The Contest. And here the gang are about to play a racing game, but all goes bad when a blackout happens in here. Nitpick here, but Ben literally only picks up the phone and says that they're all dead, despite the fact that the charger isn't even connected. So our Gen Z group are all on their phone, fucking complaining about the blackout.
Oh, I checked it right before my birthday and right after my birthday.
So Tom gets an invitation to Floppy Disk Island, but unfortunately, it only comes with one ticket. So Tom makes a bet for the one who can survive without technology could win it. And everyone is already getting into it. Like, Hank fucking quits the minute of it starting. And it's fun to see the characters interact without the use of technology. It's pretty fun.
Dance, dance, don't stop dancing. Dance, dance, don't you dare stop dancing.
It isn't until it's just Tom and Ben in the competition. But Ben loses after realizing everything needs an update. But it was revealed that Tom was cheating the whole time watching a basketball game. So Ben takes the ticket and just goes to Floppy Disk Island, even though he doesn't even bring any of the stuff that they needed to bring. So yeah, the ending is kinda harsh, but still a really good episode. Number 23, Lullaby Monster. So Ben is kinda like how I am right now in this fucking ranking. So Angela sings a lullaby to Ben so he can calm down. And Ben is all asleep. Until the next morning he full on makes a new invention. An invention that records Angela's lullabies for a nap. So Hank and Ginger goes in and uses the app for themselves. With the Insomnia app being just Angela hologram. But it goes way too out of control and becomes sentient. So Ben tries to fix it, but it ends up going haywire in the long end.
The Donuts After Dark cart is empty. It's never empty after dark. That's their whole
Season
thing.
5 has to be the most error-filled season here. So the Insomnia app captures everyone. So Tom and Angela has to wake everyone up for things to run again. But the Insomnia app just makes everything worse. I just love when the workers just lay the bed there and just Tom goes over there when affected by the song. So Angel gets Ben to fix the Insomnia, but the Insomnia is already here to affect Ben. But they go on to a battle with Angel and the Insomnia, but the Insomnia gets very powerful to the point where it's able to affect gravity and all. But they finally manage to get rid of it. Overall, a great episode in a shit season. Number 22.
or my other first place rocket, or my dad's first place rocket, or my grandfather's first place rocket.
So Hank, can you tell me, how does reproduction work? Okay, never mind. So Hank tries to eat a heart attack in a fucking bowl. And just by one bite, he is completely fat. So to pay his debt, he has to go work for Ron in the diner, which is basically a pretty shitty job for him, as he has to do a lot of dishes. He goes in all tired from working all day, and all he can ever do all day is doing the dishes. And he has to sleep pretty early and wake up early too, which is affecting his own life and others around him, especially with Ginger's rocket. So they have Angela make a rocket for him, and we get to see here that Hank hates the color pink that much. And from that, he goes and quits his job at the diner. Pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And I also like the subplot a lot too, where Ben gets into Bongo and McGillicuddy. He thinks it's trash before then, but he ends up liking it so much that he gives the usual speech that Hank usually gives. Not gonna lie, great episode. Number 21.
He's not Tom! He's an imposter!
Tom wants a day all to himself, but his friends want him to do some favors for the musical. So Tom goes out to town to do all those chores until Tom meets Tim, who's just a Tom clone. Looks just like Tom, and he works in the carnival, so they make a deal to switch their lives for a day. So Tom goes into the carnival, and not gonna lie, working in a carnival seems pretty fun. And all he has to do is just watch the rides. And while he's doing that, the other Tom is out here with his friends. But when Tom tries to go leave, he sees the CEO. And the CEO had a plan all along to construct Tim as a robot. And Tim stealing Tom's life. So Tom does the most savage and illegal thing he can do. He uses the roller coaster to escape from here. Also, wouldn't Rodney know who the CEO is? So Tim goes out and he says that he hates everyone and all. But Tom goes and appears and everyone is all confused who the real Tom is. Which is pretty understandable. They are both really alike. But when Tom starts singing, we get to know that it isn't actually Tom. And that Tim is revealed that he is a fake. So Tom goes in and explodes, and he explodes into fireworks. Strange. Not gonna lie, great episode. Number 20.
Oh, Angela! Have you seen Angela?
Here we are, the season 4 premiere. I won't lie, this was a moment. And we also get an intro that I think, in my opinion, is better than the original. And it also shows that, yeah, they found Angela. So they are out here looking for Angela after the previous episode. Ben isn't able to do technology, so he's making popsicles instead. And Jeremy is moving in here. Okay, here's something I'm gonna say. This is the best animated episode of the whole show. Easily. Just the shading, the animation, like it's all so great. So Xenon catches Ben with technology, and we have a really fun chase scene here, which Xenon catches him here too. And right here we get Xenon putting on the bracelet that Ben has to wear. So the gang decides to go follow Xenon. And as he follows her, Ben notices that he gets shocked. And Ginger also finds out a secret passageway to the agency. When Xenon catches the gang, Ben makes this face, man. So Xenon locks them inside a room, and you'd assume the worst would probably happen. But no, Xenon is still with the gang, as Xenon also wants to find Angela using her machine that can literally dox anyone. Ben tries to go in, but it appears that he gets it Ben detected. So Tom hops in to find Angela. So a portal appears and Tom goes in it. So does Hank and Ginger. And here we are. Not only if it's the best premiere, but one of the best premieres I've seen for a season. Number 19. Mission Delete. So Tom tries to break his own computer until they realize it's the old MySpace page of Angela, which he also sent to the friends, which is basically Angela used to be an emo. So Angela gets back at him by showing his old MySpace page. So they try to delete the accounts, but they aren't able to. So they have to go all the way to the CEO's tower to delete them. And from there, we get their plan. And, well, some of it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know why the security guard would just go out to eat pretzels. But, like, the birthday grand part, like, that is just so funny.
January 1st to January 2nd.
So Tom and Angela try to get through the vault by trusting this guard, which, yeah, that doesn't happen as the guard trusts the CEO. So Hank spills the beans on what happens, and the CEO throws everyone out, which leaves Ginger, who is in the server room. And from there, they're ready to delete the accounts. Angela's really ready to do so, but she exits out and looks at one of her old videos. And you know what? It's actually pretty cool, as she is pretty proud of her old achievements and how those old achievements built her to how she is now. Even though Tom, yeah, he does delete his own page at the end. But do you want to know something that feels real here? Is that this episode kind of aged pretty well. Since cancel culture is a thing and how everyone wants to go to the past and see just stuff that they said beforehand, even though they might not believe it. And yeah, this episode shows it the best way they could. Also, the ending is actually pretty good as well. Number 18. Happy Halloween. The best Halloween episode. Ginger wants to go trick-or-treating with the gang, and the gang tells them that they don't even care about trick-or-treating anymore. And Ginger faints right when Tom says that. And from there, Ginger leaves. We get the Sundown Sector, which is basically the Twilight Zone.
Boring. Did you seriously pick an old black and white show for this year's Scarathon?
Just because of that, you're welcome, Tom. Oh wait, never mind. They actually do it for me. Great job, Ben. So Ginger returns to tell them that they can go trick-or-treating again. But when Ben refuses to, he pulls out a gun and shoots him. But he really is inside a nap Ginger has. And from that, he intimidates everyone to go trick-or-treating with him. And they basically treat him as a tyrant. Like, it's insane. Our first Bongo McGillicuddy mention is here, as Hank can't turn on the TV and he's now in the app. Right in the moon, we get to see that Angela also gets into the app, and Tom tries to escape. Like, truly, this is one of the most scariest, like, genuinely. So once everyone is inside the app, we get into this pretty much a void inside Ginger's phone. So what will happen now? Are they going to escape or something? Well, here's the answer. I'm not telling you the answer. Go watch the episode yourself so you can see the ending. Number 17.
If you refuse to join me!
Talking Tom and Friends go Star Wars, especially since this episode released around the Star Wars movie in 2017. But in the episode, Angela tells the gang that she has not watched any of those movies, and she's basically sleeping when watching those movies. And it basically shows how fans are like of both that and non-fans, especially as a non-fan myself, as Tom tries to put her on to the movies. And Angela has probably preparing for the biggest binge ever, just so she could go in and sleep through it. Angela becomes worried that Tom isn't gonna know that she hasn't done anything, so she gets Xenon to help her understand all the lore. And just like that, in one afternoon, she becomes a fan. So she goes to the premiere screening where all the gang are dressed up in cosplay. And Hank is skeptical of Angela being a fan.
Ew, what is this? I'd like to add soda to my popcorn. It gives it that fizz that most popcorn is missing.
Not gonna lie, since that I tried to eat Doritos with Fanta in it. So Angela stands up for the stage to give out the speech. But the soda ruined all the writing she had. But using her own memory, she recites the speech, and it's nice to see everyone follow with her. It's a pretty great episode. Though I do not like the ending. I don't know why it ended just like that. Number 16.
No, it's Hank.
Wait, your name is Hank?
Yeah, except in Fred's where it's honk honk.
So Ben is going somewhere and none of the characters give a shit about the garage rules. So Tom kicks Ben out so he can have his little vacation. And so Tom tries to fuck around with one of Ben's machines. And just by fucking around with it, he thinks nothing will happen until a fucking portal summons and it takes Tom inside. From there, he goes to a different dimension where everything is reversed. Hank is a pop star. Ben is now the cool guy who got plenty of bitches with him. Angela's the couch potato, and Ginger's actually a good person, with Tom becoming the usual nerd. The real Tom is scared that he's in a different dimension, but he makes up with all of the reversed friends, and they all have a party, and not gonna lie, it's all pretty cool. While the other Tom is with the real Ben, and they cannot get along whatsoever. Just shows that Ben can't be friends with nerds. There's also this whole scene of them trying to save Tom, and I won't lie, it's also pretty funny and pretty entertaining at the same time. And Angela goes into the other universe and catches Tom cheating with the other Angela.
Wait. Cool people. McGillicuddy can talk? Of course McGillicuddy can talk. Don't you ever watch TV?
The other Tom is literally in the bathroom and gets pushed in by Ben. And Ben closes the portal. Great episode. Number 15. Poker Face. So in this episode, the landlord catches everyone playing noodle spoons. Basically a gambling game where, well, there's spoons and noodles. So Ben bets all but quickly gives up. And the landlord comes in, and from there, they actually evict him. Well, not really. They play noodle spoons with the landlord, and Tom easily makes a bet that he probably couldn't keep. And from there, they lose once. And even then, they lose again. Like, the landlord is completely evil. He tricked Tom. And from there, he becomes the new CEO. And he turns Tom and Ben Enterprises into a cleaning company. Like, he's truly evil. He takes away everything from the garage, including the PC, which he keeps it safe inside the kitchen area. And yeah, and he kicks out Ginger.
How about a game of Flappy Tom?
What, you think I was born in this morning? Come on now. You are Flappy Tom expert.
From there, the final game happens with Ginger and Landlord. And Ginger wants to become the CEO, which the characters don't like. So from there, they start playing. And the landlord is easily going to take another victim until Ginger beats the landlord. Easily one of the best moments in cartoon history. Number 14. Glitch Apocalypse. The best series finale. Easily. So the Zappers come into real life zapping everyone. And Ben tries to make a machine to stop it from happening. So they go to the CEO tower. And on the other side, we have the other characters having to deal with the Zappers. And the music Angela plays enjoys them. The CEO tower has them all together, except for Angela, and the Zappers get in. And at the last minute, the fucking CEO just destroys it all. Yeah, the CEO deserves to get zapped. From there, they go to a giant ass toilet. Does the CEO have an ass that big? So Ginger flushes Tom and Ben out of the area. And from there, we meet a long lost friend, Jeremy the Germ. Jeremy agrees to infect the Zappers, but it comes with a price. So they get out of the toilet. Again. And from there, they go and get Jeremy into the hole, the whirlpool. But Ben becomes zapped and Jeremy's stuck. So Tom has to go and get Jeremy down there. He succeeds while being zapped. And from there, Jeremy does his evil deeds in there. And from there, all the Zappers die and everyone becomes back to normal. Jeremy gets to live with Tom and Ben in the garage. Well, only Tom, as Ben gets arrested for all the shit he has done. And Angela is missing. I won't lie, one of the best series finales of any cartoon ever. Number 13.
Friday afternoon. 3 young friends in the prime of their lives.
Hank narrates the tale of today. So the gang wants to do something today as a crisis. And luckily for them, Angela has the perfect crisis for them. So they have to stay over at Angela's place to look for a package that Angela bought. At first, Ginger and Ben are looking at the TV thinking everything's bad, but they soon see a news report of the banana berry bandit. But with Angela having so much fruit, they began an investigation on her, and they find so many evidence that could lead her to being the bandit. And soon they hear a knock on the door, which is the feds. So they go and ambush the Fed, and they outright delete all the evidence they could find. But at the end of the day, Angela was just making her own smoothies, with the fruits, the t-shirts being part of the slogan, and the banana bearing bandit having a similar name to Angela. Oh, I forgot to mention, this episode is really funny. It aligns more with the meta humor, and it hits pretty well. This is Hank, and that is the 12th best episode of Talking Tom and Friends. Number 12. Who is Billy? Well, it's Tom. So Tom has completely forgotten about the whole Roy situation, except he hasn't. He has hidden a whole investigation room in his room, where he is stalking him using a fake profile he made online. But when they catch him, he has to delete the profile for good. And from there, Tom is punished, which he definitely should. But Roy is all sad, so he sings a song about it, and I won't lie. This is easily one of the best songs of the show. Like, I won't lie to you. Tom Kenny, overall, as he plays Roy here, can sing super damn well. So for there, they start the whole search for Roy by making a whole music video of the song he just played and going really well. And to the point he made a whole doxing machine where he can find his last location. So Tom is worried that they're gonna find out who Billy really is.
But I watched The Guy Who Disappeared Part 1. It ended on a huge cliffhanger, and I freaked out until I watched The Guy Who Disappeared Part 2 and learned where the guy was.
Just a little complaint. Like, I feel like this would be somewhat of a dead giveaway to Roy. So Billy returns by calling him. And we get to see that Billy made it to space. And I won't lie, this is a nice thing that Tom does for Roy. So some aliens come in and he has to go fight them. And he easily does so he can get the alien queen's pussy. But they disconnect, and yeah, that was the episode. I won't lie, this was like the easiest pick for the best season 5 episode. Number 11.
Clicky doesn't need eyes to see you,
Hank is scarier in this frame though. So Tom gets a role for a commercial, and they kick everyone out because Tom is the one. So Tom wants to practice for the commercial itself, which, yeah, ends badly. So this is basically face freeze from SpongeBob, but it's done a bit better. He doesn't look repulsive here. And I like how they do with the concept here. So everyone treats him as he is a monster due to him, well, looking like a freak. So much that he got put on the news because of it. And it is so much that he actually gets the part. So he has to go in a bag head because they don't think he's repulsive. So Ben creates a whole fake face to work, which ends up not working in the end as it's way too complex for Ben to control. And then we get this. And it actually gets inside the commercial itself. And the only thing I need to say here.
This is art!
Number 10. Funny Robot Galileo. So, Hank creates a sandwich with vinegar on it, while Ben is performing at the CEO's birthday party. But the Ben is so unfunny, too unfunny, that when Tom roasts him that he's not funny, he just takes it, his delivery sucks. So, he creates a full-ass robot, which looks like a FNAF robot, doesn't it? But when vinegar from the sandwich gets inside it, it malfunctions completely, until it comes back and becomes a full-on roasting machine. And they enjoyed the roasting machine so much, they put a lot of vinegar, and once it comes back, it becomes a full-on, a troll. Yeah. And I won't lie, a really funny troll at that. And so they go into a chase scene with the robot until the robot goes into CEO's party. And from there, he just roasts the fuck out of this dude. Well, not that much. So Ben comes to the robot and he tries to go murder the fucking robot. But it has a pretty nice message that not everyone's going to be offended with the roast. Unless if you're talking about death, then yeah, you're going to get offended. And I do like how this starts the Tom versus CEO plot. I won't lie, a funny and creative episode from Talking Tom and Friends. Number 9. Hero Hank. So in this episode, Hank becomes a security officer in a convention. But instead, he's going to become a janitor there. And being a janitor sucks in the convention as not much happens. And Hank is pretty demotivated of everything. But when he sees someone being suspicious with his hands, he tries to chase him down. But in result, he says to fear the man with the can. So Hank goes into an investigation to find the said man with the can. Until the man with the can was the supply room in the back. Inside the supply room, he finds some cards that are all painted on. And the person who did it comes into the room. While in the meantime, the gang also joins inside the nerd convention. Tom wants to put Angela onto these Pokemon cards. Angela isn't too fond of it at first, but she gets really addicted to it. So the man wants to sell a fake card. And so he tries to sell it to Tom for a heavy price, which Angela agrees to do so since it's very rare. Hank doesn't want him to do so as it's a scam, so he uses the water spray to spray the card. And from there, he catches him on the act with Ginger and his army too. They ambush him and Ben loses at his own game. I won't lie, pretty great episode here. Number 8. Future Tron 6000. It's nice to see an episode from the first 4 make it into the top 10. So we have Steve Jobs, and Steve Bosniak, recipe Steve Jobs, making a presentation. So Tom wants to stalk them. And their friendship is completely fucked when they compare themselves to Tom and Ben. To the point where he fucking hits them with a pyramid. Tom is worried the same thing's gonna happen to them both in the future. So Ben creates a device that can look on what's gonna happen in the future. Also, Talking Tom and Friends takes place before 2018. So in the future, Ben becomes very successful without Tom in mind, and Tom easily gets jealous of that. In another one, Ginger becomes the CEO of Tom and Burton Enterprises, and in another one, Hank is married to Angela. Episode's words, not mine. It's so cool to see the carnival before it was fully introduced, and the ending is pretty funny. Not gonna lie, great. Number 7. The Good Germ. So everything's back to normal with them having a party of Angela's return, and Ben can't use technology. As well as Jeremy moving in wanting to join. But his filth ruins the whole party, as he is known to be really just all disgusting, leaving goo everywhere. So the gang just decides to ditch him to go to somewhere else. And right here, we get the best song in Talking Tom and Friends history.
I could join the germs, be sleazy.
Not gonna lie, this song absolutely slaps. So once they return, Jeremy becomes good and cleans everything around here. So much that they can have the party again due to how clean it all becomes. But Jeremy might become way too clean as he becomes a freak for anything that's dirty. So they basically tie him up to go and clean all the mess they made. Once he tries to go cleaning up with eating, he becomes bigger. So big that he actually becomes a full-on giant, terrorizing the city. So the characters use the trampoline like a robot, like if it was Voltron to defeat Jeremy. And I won't lie, the fight scenes here are really good. Unfortunately, they are stuck with Jeremy about to kill them all, but Ben uses the electricity from the bracelet to get up and get the soap and put it inside Jeremy's mouth to get everything out of him. And he returns to his regular size from that. I won't lie, this is for sure a better than good episode. Number 6. Bye Bye Bongo. So Hank's favorite TV show, Bongo McGillicuddy, is about to be cancelled. and Hank was so dedication that he wrote a full-on fan guide about it. But Ben has made a machine for Hank to go inside the TV, but it is too dangerous for him to go there. But nah, Hank uses it to go inside there anyways. And from there he transports him into one of the biggest twists in animation.
Hank? Is it really you?
Out.
You're Hank from TV. We never miss an episode of Talking Tom and Friends.
You heard it here, folks. Talking Tom and Friends and Bongo and McGillicuddy are the same universe. So the boss wants to fire both Bongo and McGillicuddy, mostly because they are both not fit for their jobs as cops, and they're both loose cannons in a way. So Hank wants to go find a TV transporter to go back home. Unfortunately for him, the last guy who used it was Dr. Technology, who also escaped prison and they don't know much about his whereabouts. So they all three go on to under investigation to him. They eventually find where he is, and dude looks like a Rick and Morty character. He doesn't really seem all too suspicious at first, until Hank notices a pretty minute detail about his teeth, and from there he knows that he's going to escape from this universe to the other, but Hank stops that from happening, and he gets rewarded for that, and it's pretty cool. It's also kind of sad to see, well, some of these characters going on. But don't be sad, they have returned. As of season 4 and 5, they've returned a couple times. This episode's pretty great. Number 5.
That the only constellation I can ever find is Party the Space Bear?
Ben makes a device that can contact aliens from outer space. So he sits in a driveway trying to look for any type of contact. But unfortunately, it has failed him. Until one of the aliens actually contacts Ben. So Ben and the alien dubbed Alan becomes pretty good friends, with him learning what Alan knows and the other way around. But the other characters aren't too fond of it all, so they try to have an intervention with Ben and Alan. But Ben dismisses all the claims with Alan being an awful alien, so they create traps to prevent them from doing anything. And from there, the whole crowd comes in to see the amazing invention. Even Mel and Flo come over to probably make fun of Ben, while the other characters are trying to go and see what the hell is going on. But they realize something, as Hank isn't really doing anything on this, and he spills a big twist. He's Alan. He apparently tries to connect with the machine he made using a recorder. And from there, Ben is embarrassed. And I won't lie, this is coming from the same episode that has Ben fucking Dab.
Was he careful that day he turned the toilet into a time portal?
But Ben realizes that an alien comes out of the machine. And yeah, Alan is here to see Earth. Even though Ben knows it's actually Tom, he still makes something out of it. And the others believe him, and that was the masterpiece that was Galactic Friends. It barely felt like an episode, but it's still awesome. Number 4, Fishy Business. The CEO grants Darren to become the intern of Goldie, but Darren flat out just tries to kill Goldie. But luckily, Goldie lands right inside the drink of Hank, and Hank doesn't know what to do, as, well, I don't know why the fucking fish didn't drown yet, but he wants to let go at first, but instead he tries to take care of the guy, and he dubbed it Orangey, and they become best friends like that. And I won't lie, the friendly moments with them two are pretty fun, but it isn't all sunshine and rainbows, as the CEO realizes that his fish is gone.
I don't cry, but I've hired a man to cry for me, so you'll all understand how much I miss my fish.
At first, Hank denies it as he runs away with Goldie, until Goldie sees the CEO and wants to go to him, and he later changes his mind, as he wants to give Goldie back to his respective owner. Next we get a pretty good scene with this change of art style here, and it works well to explain the plan that Hank and Tom are about to do. So they give Goldie back to the CEO, but not with the CEO trapping them in, wanting them to go to jail. But Hank realizes that Goldie is in fact scared of Darren due to how he threw him out, and he does the same thing again. So they go out to get Goldie out the window. The CEO also tries to have Hank fucking kill himself until Goldie comes back into his tank nice and safely, and Hank fires Darren as he should. And it's nice to have the CEO not be ruthlessly mean to Tom. And it's pretty nice to see that here, where we rarely see it. Not gonna lie, a great episode. In fact, the first 10 out of 10 episode we have here. Number 3.
I was having a dream that we were living in a 3D cartoon.
Hank makes fun of Ginger, which his ass gets blasted for it and knocks down the ping pong table. And from there, Ginger wants to play ping pong, but he can't, due to a story told long ago. We get to see a whole flashback of when Tom was a lot more stupid and Ben was a lot more serious. So they get a full-ass ping pong table for Ben to line up, which he actually ends up doing after playing some ping pong, and he beats Tom just like that. And Angela sings a song about it, of him literally becoming a ping pong pro.
You know, sometimes I think you make up these TV shows.
That sounds like something a samurai ghost would say.
The landlord gets introduced in this episode, and not gonna lie, I like the landlord here. He's shown as a champion who has long gone forgotten about his roots, until he's back at it again to defeat Ben to not go around with random strangers in the garage. So he goes and battles Ben, which he ends up winning, by the way. And that's that, I won't lie, the best season 1 episode. But there are still 2 other episodes I find better here. Number 2.
Here! We don't know why it's here, but you don't question cake!
Yep, we're back at this again. Nope, never mind. Hank is sick this time around. So on his birthday, he has to stay home due to his sickness. But when some shit with the remote, and boom, the characters come into the real world. And I won't lie, the animation here is super great here. So they realize it's actually Hank's party with no one in here. So Hank invites all his TV friends in, including a guy who looks like he came from the amazing world of Gumball. So they all have a party and get lit tonight in his birthday party. Until the remote spawns in another guy from the TV, being this wolf villain, which I'm gonna tell you right now, if Tumblr find out, he will become the next Tumblr sexy man, I can tell you that. And he's actually a pretty good villain with his motives. Take notes, Roy. So they go to the couch to get remotes. So they need Jeremy for the soup, who is writing an IMDb review on Bongo McGillicuddy as they speak. But I won't lie, I can understand this. I can understand it all. It's done pretty well. So Hank and Jeremy reunite as they go and fight all the wolves and make sure they go back into the TV, with the main wolf guy getting McGillicuddy. And I won't lie, the voice acting, everything about this dude, bro. So he gets shot in the ass and boom, he's back into the television, with Hank getting hangover and going to sleep. There's also the theme park stuff, like you'd think there'll be assholes, but they actually feel remorse pretty quickly. So to make it up for Hank, they try to win a game to get a prize for him. But the carnival games are super rigged. So rigged that Ginger actually exposes the guy. So, in return, they'll get a prize for him, and they get a pretty cool prize for Hank. Now it's time for the best episode. Number 1. Out of over 150 episodes I've watched for this fucking show, this is the best one in my opinion. So Tom sneaks in the painting inside the garage, which is actually a pretty priceless painting from the flood. Literally, as it flooded inside the museum and he has to keep it and make sure no one comes in and knows where it is, as he's very stressed about it, as shown as he is out there 24/7 keeping good care of it. On the other hand, Ben tries to do other stuff apart from technology, which he fails at doing every single time he tries to do something. So much so that Melon Flow catches him becoming a failure, with them doing the most TikTok Fortnite dance I've ever seen. But he tries to spoil the beans that he has the painting in his house, which he figures out that they're trying to steal the painting to have it for themselves. So Ben has to rush all the way to the garage, but nobody is here, so Ben is all home alone. He tries to call Tom, but he gets electrocuted because of it. And here we have the best scene. In this scene, we have some type of drug trip here with the painting talking to Ben. And I won't lie, the animation here is great. The 2D mixes really well with the 3D in this show, doesn't it? So Ben tries to put all types of traps around the house, but he realizes Mel and Flo are here. And luckily the traps do work out for them, until they came prepared for the traps, using a gravitational gun to get the painting itself. And yeah, it looks like game over for Ben, but not so, as he uses the physics that he learned from the painting to get them asses out of there and to protect the painting. And when Tom returns, the painting is still there and everything's back to normal. This is the best episode of the show. It does almost everything right, and it matches up to the expectations and the best. And there we have it, every single Talking Tom and Friends episode ranked worst to best. And I won't lie, this shit was an adventure. I get to see a whole lot of episodes and rewatch them again and see my thoughts on them. Some episodes that I like that I still like. Some episodes that I liked beforehand but I don't like them as much anymore. Some episodes I didn't like as much but I like them now. And some that I always hated, and yeah, I still hated them to this day. Now it's time to get into the elephant in the room. Will Talking Tom and Friends return for season 6? The answer to that question? Yes, but more so no. Like, Outfit 7 hasn't fully confirmed it being dead now, but due to some things like them only showing compilations now, and one of the writers said that they're done making episodes, it's probably safe to say that Talking Tom and Friends isn't going to put out more episodes. But if you want more on that, go watch this video right now. But am I done with Talking Tom and Friends? No. I still have the minisodes, I can review one of the shorts, and if I want to do another ranking on it, I can rank the games. But ranking another cartoon at the moment, it's probably going to be a different cartoon not related to this. So briefly before I go, I want to talk about how this basically is something I kind of grew up with. The first episodes came out when I was only 10 years old. And look at it now, it's been many years since it first aired, and plenty of evolution happened within. And even though not a lot of people know or really even care about the show, I will respect to people who actually do. Even though it's not the best fan base, at least they can somewhat know about this show. And if you started caring about the show thanks to this video, well, that's good. If not, that's alright. So leave me in the comments what is your favorite episodes, or if there are any picks that you disagree with. And I'd say that's basically it. So bye guys.